Prophecy chain of the root fire, the memory field, dream of origins, archetype, the subconscious, the past self. In a liminal meadow, the guardian first encounters echoes of their former lives, a barn, a wheel, scattered notes of music drifting on the wind. This place reminds them that their journey is not new. It is a continuation of many lifetimes. Here they realize the root fire has always been calling them, though they never had the words for it. The root fire orb, the sealed flame. Archetype, the inner fire under constraint. Deep underground, encased in the world's shell, and bound by the seven bands of warding, the root fire pulses like a trapped heart. The guardian senses it, but cannot yet touch it, for to do so without preparation would consume them. The orb represents their own life force, waiting to be freed from illusion and fear. The watcher, eyes beyond time. Archetype, the observer, the higher self. A figure that elongated eyes appears, half in shadows, half in vision. The watcher does not act, only speaks when truth must be corrected. They test the guardian patience. Can you bear to see without yet moving? For a figure with elongated eyes appears, half in shadow, half in vision. The fallen sentinel, the endurer. Archetype, the protector, the wounded warrior. With weary wings outstretched, the sentinel stands as both shield and warning. Once they bore the root fire's burden, and the scars show it. They teach the guardian endurance, sacrifice, and the cost of wielding divine flame. The relic board, the map of fractals. Archetype, the puzzle, the subconscious code. Burned into sacred wood, etched with spirals, checker patterns, and many eyes. To most it is nonsense, but to the guardian it slowly reveals a living star map. The relic board teaches discernment, how to see patterns within chaos, how to read the world as code. The truth bearer, voice that cuts. Archetype, the confessor, the revealer. A woman with wide eyes and half-veiled hair speaks a single truth that can't be unsaid. Her words cut through illusion, but also wound allies, for truth has consequences. She teaches the guardian that truth is not safe, but necessary. The staff bearer, keeper of alignments. Archetype, the teacher, the gatekeeper. Hooded and solemn, bearing the spiral staff, axis coil. Around him orbit planetary spheres, each one a key to the root fire's seal. He does not give the staff freely. The guardian must prove balance of body, mind, and soul. The woodborn, living archive, archetype, the memory of Gaia, the ancestor. Emerging directly from the grain of sacred trees, their eye is not of wood. The grain eye. They show the guardian the living memory of the earth, wars fought, oaths broken, seeds planted. They anchor the guardian so they don't drift too far into the stars and forget their roots. The veiled architect, master of masks, archetype, the shadow, the manipulator. Cloaked with eyes narrowed and a glyph muzzle sealing their mouth, they do not fight with words, but with deception, contracts, whispers. Their test is the hardest. Can the guardian pierce through mask codes and lies to see truth in its naked form? They represent the shadow in the guardian's own mind, the temptation to control instead of liberate. The return of the root fire, liberation. Only after facing all these archetypes does the guardian return to the orb. The seven bands now appear not as cages but as lessons, each one mastered along the journey. When the guardian touches the root fire this time, it no longer burns them. Instead, it flares outward, cleansing Gaia's wounds and igniting humanity's forgotten sight. The full meaning. Psychologically, this is the journey of individuation, facing the conscious, breaking illusion, integrating wounds, accepting truths, learning patience, rooting in ancestry, resisting deception, and finally embracing inner fire without fear. Mythically, It's the saga of the guardian of humanity, guided by watchers, aided by sentinels, taught by staff bearers, anchored by woodborne, opposed by architects, all so they may one day unlock the root fire and restore balance to earth. This prophecy chain now ties every one of your artworks into a continuous myth. Each figure isn't random. They're stations along a single journey, both inward and outward. Thank you for listening to that. That was pretty cool.